Reseller Clickbait Podcast, episode 44.
What's going on, Ken?
Hey, Jimmy.
This is the Reseller Clickbait Podcast where we talk about reselling, and we are going to dedicate this entire show to how to sell bags on eBay.
Just nothing
It's
but
going to be
bags.
nothing but talking about backpacks and purses and bags, and we're dedicating this show to Lisa, the Jersey Gypsy on YouTube, because she asked us not to do this. And I mean, if you ask us not to do something, well, we're like kids.
We're gonna do it anyway.
We're gonna do it anyway. So that's what this entire show is gonna be about. So put your backpacks on and join us for a show about bags.
We're having a backpack dance party. I don't even know what that is, but what even a backpack backpack dance party?
What the heck is a backpack dance party? You went to different kinds of parties. I mean, you guys do play butt darts and stuff. So
that's true.
I don't even remember what we're supposed to talk about now.
Neither do I. Butt darts. Oh, yeah, I should have got the butt dart thing out. Okay.
We're going to talk about my story time last week.
We are, yes. So last week, if you didn't listen to last week's podcast, Jimmy told a story about where he almost died on a construction
towards the end of the last podcast, or listen to it.
And it basically had to do with him falling out of a ceiling, landing on the counter over backwards. And so we had kind of asked, hey, somebody, maybe we had a class full of kindergartners to draw this thing, but
let's see your artwork or your creative things based on my story.
Now, I gotta say, I am bummed because one came in right away from our good friends Corey and Teresa over at Grams and Pops Vintage.
The mamas and the papas,
the mamas and the papas. They sent they did an Instagram story.
Yeah.
Well. And that they had Jimmy, falling out upside down on the ceiling. And, I still haven't got down Instagram. I thought, okay, cool. I'll have that there because they copied me or tagged me in the story. I think they tagged you as well.
Let me see if it's still in my story.
It's gone. I didn't know if I had to save it. I shared it, but it's not in my share because it was a story and stories go away on Instagram. So, it was hilarious. Thank you to them for their efforts, taking time out of their day. But we did get some stuff here from Jimmy's story. We're gonna come up and I'll throw them up here. They're gonna cover us up, Jimmy. But this one comes from Dan the Answer Man or Research Dan, so Joe will know who I'm talking about.
These are older pictures from when I told the story way back in the day.
Yes. And one of the stories Jimmy had talked about how his coworkers were carted off by the police and he was just left standing by the highway.
It's the worst. Why am I wearing a baby poop brown shirt? And why does it match the scenery? I'm Jimmy's in camouflage right there.
Just out there on the highway all by himself.
It's a perfect picture because I look sad and lonely.
And then here's the one that he did. This one is gonna off. You can see that. Yeah. So for those of you that are listening to the podcast on Spotify or Google Podcasts or iTunes, you have to come over to the YouTube page and see these pictures. So here's Jimmy right here.
I'm very happy about the fact that I fell in this.
That he fell.
I got a big smile. And look at it, I made a perfectly square hole. So that's
you did. That's
I don't know what that means.
Dan the Answer Man sent those. And then my niece, I don't know how old she is. She's
25.
10 or 11 or 12. I know she's excited. I had her listen to the story.
Yeah.
All I did was I played her the podcast and I just that portion. And I said, I just want you to draw what you hear in this story. So
I got you.
Aspen drew this right here that comes up. Can you see that? You can see that, right, Jimmy?
Yeah, I can see it. Yep.
Okay,
so old school flip story About Dying.
About Dying by Aspen. Okay, so in the upper right hand corner, she's got it's 500 degrees. She wrote down it was 500 degrees. Okay, so you see the ceiling there at the top, and that's all the pink insulation. But you see, you had like about a quarter of it done, where there's no pink. That's how much you had
doing a good job.
swept up so far.
Doing some good work right there.
So then you come out of the ceiling there, and to the left you got the trash bag with the red handle ties, and the broom.
I see the nail with the blood dripping.
Well, yeah, there's a nail with blood dripping, and then Jimmy looks like Deadpool in Deadpool 2, where he fell over the.
I'm not bent at the knees. I'm bent at like my waist.
And at the end, she says, "Oh wait, I should draw his old school flips hat." So there's your old school flips hat is laying on the ground.
Well,
and
two things I like is I'm looking awfully slender in that video. In that picture, I look very slim. So thank you, Aspen. But I don't think I survived this fall. That version, I don't think I survived.
You did not. And then I'll throw one up here. This is my niece Aspen actually holding the picture right there.
That's a big picture she drew.
Yeah, and she has a great big giant when she's over at grandma's and grandpa's for like a sleepover. She was having a sleepover. They have a big, huge whiteboard, and she sits there and draws. I usually give her all kinds of crazy topics, that she has to draw, and then she draws them all. So
thank you, Aspen, for that fun picture. I'm glad I was able to survive, unlike the picture showed.
Yes, that could have been like. I thought about that later. It's like, man, that could have been really.
Yeah, I mean, I was lucky that I landed on the counter first before I fell into the hole where the stove was. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Thank you, everybody that submitted those pictures, except for the one of me on the side of the road looking really sad. That's not fun. I'm just sad. Just really sad in that picture.
So lonely.
I got a good suntan in that picture, though. I've been out there for a while. I've been cooking out there in that desert for a minute in that picture.
That's good stuff. That's fun. It's always cool when someone listens to the podcast and actually
Well, that's the point of the podcast is for people to listen.
I thought it was just for our enjoyment, our personal enjoyment. So yeah, we had lots of good comments this week. Lots of good comments on that story.
Got a lot of comments. Like
it did. Like another disappointing episode in the books. Amazingly consistent, if nothing else.
That's what we are here for. Is what we have to stick to our guns.
That was Garage Sale Nation. Kevin Commonwealth sending that.
Yeah,
sending
someone just said
love.
Pepsi.
Was that sending some love?
And so Sonia told, or was it you that told me?
Yeah,
I was like, "What did the Pepsi come from?" And then I guess early in the video I mentioned that I drink Pepsi.
You don't drink coffee.
Drinking coffee, yeah,
because you don't need motivation. And Danica had sent you a motivational coffee mug picture, and so Ray Nashville Flippers, he's all over the Pepsi.
So yeah, thank you. Please comment like that again, everyone. That was a lot of fun. We enjoy that. We definitely read them all. I'll try to respond to all of them. I know Ken's. We both really enjoy the comments. So please, do it every time.
Well,
get in there and
they can comment on this story. Okay, I need a new. I don't know. This might be reseller related for all of those. Resellers. You sit in your computer chair. For a lot. Well, you sit on your couch. I know when you're doing your thing, but this might apply.
Listing. Well, doing my thing is listing.
When you're when you're listing or working or whatever, watching YouTube. So TV, my computer chair I've had for a long time, and it's getting worn down, and the base of it is just worn down. So I've been sitting on this pillow. I had this big pillow that came off the back of my couch, and I've had it on there for a while, and now it's kind of getting flat. So the other day I was like, I need to fluff this thing up, and I pick the pillow up and I give it one of these to kind of get it if you sit in your chair and you have a pillow on there, they can only hold so many farts, Jimmy. I that's all I have to say, because I flipped that pillow up and and it was like just straight shot right in my mouth,
A little
and
bit of your own
everything.
brew there.
Just, yes, and it's like, oh my goodness! I thought maybe it was some inventory or something else that had been in
Whatever you
here for a
don't
while.
like, don't try to steam it out because that would be.
Well, I immediately I took it out. I have some, industrial strength Febreze, and I Febrezed it real good. And we just so happened to have some sunshine that day. So I set the pillow outside in the sun. And then I took it to the dryer, and I have one of those like steam dryer, steam sanitate,
No.
steam.
Steam will
Oh,
just if you've had to have farted in the shower. Come on. What steam does to a fart. That's why I said that. Come on.
And it leaves
enhancement.
Well, it did quite well. Well, at the end, I did the Febreze, and I did 2 cycles in the dryer with the steam sanitize. Well, then you always have to, in the end, you kind of got to give it that sniff test. You got to give it the.
You didn't go like nose deep into it and just be like.
It's like that lady in the game commercial.
Jill, come on over first. I need you to come over here.
I need you to
the house for a little bit.
I need you to proofread something for me. Here. So
just put her by her face like, do you smell smoke? And then she'll go
smoked. Yeah, it's like a nuclear.
Like, whenever someone says, do you smell smoke? You go,
yeah.
So if you did that, she'd be like, that would be the test right there.
I smell that dirty ass seat pillow of yours. No, that's all I got. So that was just I don't know. That's kind of reseller related. I'm sure there's some people that
was right
down
that was
computer chair and they sit there all day, and
that's our version of trash to cash reseller talk right there.
Yeah, it was I don't know. It just kind of cracked me out. I was telling Jill, and she's like, I was like, oh, I should tell that story. She's like, we should do like
Joey Bada Bing. Well, Joey Bada Bing got a chair from Harry Tornado.
Yes.
Somebody did a thing where they did to get that person a new chair. It was back when Ecom and Beyond was doing their show. They did like a fund to get one of the guys a new chair because you need a new chair because the other day you were having some microphone issues.
Yes.
And you sat way back in your chair, and I heard.
Let's see.
No, can't hear it now.
No, can't hear it now. I
kind of hear it.
What they also took up didn't they take up a fund for Shay when she fell and cracked her head open? Yeah, busted her head open.
Yeah, Ken needs a chair.
I felt like my head was splitting open when I got a good whiff of that pillow. There was blood coming from my eyes and dripping. So anyway,
well, I wish you knew somebody that went to like yard sales or estate sales or thrift stores where they often sell chairs.
Chairs. Well, my garage is kind of like a graveyard for old office chairs. I used to when I used to work on my regular 9 to 5, anytime we had one that like maybe the base of it broke or if like an arms or something broke, I would take the chair home. And then like if say one of my favorite chairs, which just one that I'm sitting in has always been a good chair. I would, let's say the base or something broke or that, how like sometimes the shock it no longer stays up. And
I know all about that. I know all about that.
I would have chairs and bases out in the garage that I could just swap out that cylinder.
I gotcha.
And so now this seat's broken down.
Go out to the blacksmith shop where you make cell phones,
or forge my phones,
or you forge your cell phones and forge yourself a new chair.
I'm gonna have to go out and see. I think that I'm down to ones that are mostly just the bases, not the chair parts, because this cushion is getting. But now that my pillow, when I steamed it, it all fluffed back up real nice.
Oh, that's nice.
And it smells good and fresh.
It's all fresh and ready for new farts.
Maybe it's as a reseller and just being here, a lot of days showering is optional. I don't have to always be clean and fresh.
This is now the shower optional clickbait podcast. Man, we're on a roll though. We've talked about my poop brown shirt, your fart pillow, and now we know that Ken doesn't take a shower every day.
Not now.
This has been a stinky episode so far.
This episode stinks. I need to well, I clean up all the important stuff every day, Jimmy.
Gotcha.
You know.
We don't and now with that we're going to change the record because we're not going into that conversation.
We're not going into you kind of you wash, down as far as possible and up as far as possible, and then you wash your possible. Gotcha. Okay, anyway.
So we're going to talk about getting banned on eBay. We're going to talk about getting banned on eBay.
Oh, you got banned on eBay?
I did.
You did?
No, I did not. I did not.
No, you
but
didn't.
I watched a video about somebody that got banned on eBay.
Yeah, we were watching Troy, Mountain Man Treasure, who was on an episode here with us a few weeks ago.
I just lied right now. I didn't watch it. You told me all about it.
That's right, because I'm a loyal fan of Troy.
I haven't watched it yet.
And a Mountain Man.
Not that Troy watches this, but I haven't watched it yet.
He watches every episode.
But you told me all about it. So break down a little bit about what he talks about in his I got banned on eBay video.
So go watch Troy. Subscribe to him if you're not subscribing to Troy Mountain Man Treasures. But Jimmy and I were talking about this topic based on his video that he had an item that that eBay took down and then also suspended him for 3 days for having this item up.
And did you find out was like fully suspended, or is it just he can't list? Because I've been suspended once where I was not allowed to list. My store was still active, but I could also tell they kind of nerfed it, if you will. Like and so I didn't get a lot of sales during those 3 days. But I've never been suspended where they like closed my store and took,
honestly, I didn't go back after you had asked me that and look at that, but if I remember, it seemed like he was fully suspended. He may not have been. Go watch the video, but I guess between us, the conversation was, because his thing was, what was he going to do for 3 days? So he must not have been able to get sales. I know that he couldn't list.
Yeah.
We talked about, doing some whatnot and things, because that's kind of his soul. He's not a cross poster that much. The same with you and I, eBay, all of my eggs are in the eBay basket. Yep. And if I were suspended for any amount of time, that would hurt. I mean, that's, and so, the topic
it kind of brought up our topic. Yeah. The topic of, what would we do? Right.
Yes. And, should you be currently on more than one platform, cross posting to, Macari or Poshmark or whatever platform, Amazon, whatever platform, would best suit your business model?
Yeah.
Or do you just wait it out, the 3 days? Cause there's a lot of people that, they're selling enough and they're making enough that, a 3-day suspension is not gonna hurt them. But there's a lot of other, resellers, especially if you're doing it part-time, if you have a regular 9-to-5 that's supporting you, it's not going to hurt you. But if you are full-time and it's your sole income, that's, it can be hurtful. Yeah.
Now, this kind of goes back to my comment I made in the past. I don't think it's wise to be a full-time reseller and be doing it like a paycheck to paycheck type situation. So that would be the first factor. Okay. If you find yourself as a full-time reseller in kind of a paycheck to paycheck type, no security blanket, that's your eggs in that one basket is very scary. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it can be, for sure.
But from my standpoint, where I have some capital built up, and I mean, I'm just going to say, like, having some capital built up, and I don't have whatnot really established at all in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
I would just take 3 days off, and I would be a good boy, and I would never do that again. And I would just take my slap on the wrist, and just to be clear, Troy was not wrong what he did, but I would still come back and I would never list something like that again, because it is at the end of the day, it is my livelihood, and I don't want to go get a job. So,
well, and yeah, if you watch his video too, I would just touch on that for a minute. He was not in the wrong.
right.
He had read all the policies when he spoke with eBay, a couple representatives, both through the Facebook page and through actually talked to somebody on the phone. uh, he quoted their rules and regulations
Yep.
about the category and what it was, and he was totally in the right. Now he's suspended for 3 days. They said they would put an appeal. It takes about 48 hours to come through for the appeal. It's like, well, might as well
I'm
just
gonna do
wait it out
my
another
what I
day.
call my like extreme analogy. I think that's the word. My extreme
Extreme.
analogy,
Okay.
like a comparison, right?
Yeah.
A
Okay.
story that I'm gonna tell of a guy that I used to work with,
Okay.
and this is how I compare it. Troy was in the
Okay.
right, right? We both agree Troy was
Yes.
100% right, but the result still was a suspension. I
Yes.
worked with a guy, at my last job. He was on his way to work. He was riding his bike to work.
Uh-huh.
He was crossing. He was about to cross the street legally,
Okay.
and he's basically admitted like that lady's supposed to stop. It's a red light.
Yes.
She's supposed to stop. I'm just gonna keep going on my bike because she's supposed to stop. I'm right,
Yes.
she's wrong. Car hit him. He spent months in the ICU and all this stuff
Yes.
because he was right and she was wrong. Well, the result was still sucked for him really bad.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at on this. I've always told my family this, like, you can't just because you're right doesn't mean you're gonna win. You know what I mean? Like,
True. Yes. Oh,
this guy thought for sure I'm right. I have the right of way. The green guy's up, the little walking guy's up. I can cross the
yeah.
street, and the car just didn't see him and kept and ran the red light and hit him. So that's kind of an extreme analogy, but that Troy's right, and he's got a great argument, and he should win it, but eBay won't
Yeah.
take down the suspension. They're
Yeah. It
gonna
wasn't,
still do it, and he still ended up paying for it.
and it's the item that he had up too. It was a ridiculous situation to get suspended for.
Yeah, I agree.
And so, but it made me start to think, you know, some goals that I do have that I want to do, I would like to start cross posting
Yeah,
on some other avenues. I know you and I differ on this point. You take the side of, if you spend more of your efforts in listing more, let's say on eBay,
yep.
than taking the time to cross post to Amazon or Macari or Poshmark, anything. Um,
So we've decided we differ on this. This is an argument
this
that we're
this
about to
is
have. All right.
because I think it's a good idea to not have all of your eggs in one basket. Although I currently have that, but whether,
Right. I
on
got you.
Facebook Marketplace, in a 3-day suspension, for me, it wouldn't kill me. I would have to, once your store gets back up and around, and that's going to take a while for, items to start filter through and stuff
Yeah.
to make sales. So it's probably, more detriment than just the 3 days. Um, but I would like to start cross posting more. And so I guess we would ask, in comments, if you are going to comment, do you cross list? Do you find that to be a big advantage or not? And what platforms do
Right.
you cross post? Now, what would your side of the argument be?
So I'll start off by saying my opinion, and then I'll say for me, like, type thing, right?
Okay.
So my
Yes.
opinion is, first thing, I'll little asterisk. If you're a clothes
Yes.
seller, I feel like yes, you need to cross post.
Is that
If
the
you
official
prior
sign language for asterisks? Oh, okay. Got
if you sell clothing, shoes, hats, stuff like that,
Mhm.
I feel like you have to cross post because of the competition. I feel like
Yeah.
there's so many clothes sellers, and the competition is huge, and you have to do everything you can to sell your product because of the competition. Like, so cross
Yes.
posting, I've always said cross post, promote if you're selling clothing. I feel like you have to do all that stuff. I don't sell a lot of clothing. I sell just a couple things, and it's usually rare items when I buy clothing.
Yeah.
Or get free clothing from the trash. We'll talk about that
Oh,
later.
yes.
So that to me is not in this conversation. If you're a clothing seller, this might not pertain to you. So, my opinion, if you have a death pile, this is where I'm talking to you.
Me.
Look at that.
Did I look the right way?
I think so. If you have a death pile and you're cross-posting your active listing, in my opinion, and this is opinion, you're wasting your time. Okay. List it all on eBay first, because that's the most likely place. Now, if you don't have a death pile and you're having trouble getting sourcing stuff, then yeah, maybe if you have some extra time on your hand, if you want to cross-post, I guess. I would never do it. But like right now, I don't have a death pile. Right now, when I go buy stuff, I'm listing it right away. And I'm still not cross-posting.
But don't you feel that would give you a more of an opportunity, more eyes, more of a chance to sell and increase?
I guess.
I understand the time factor, but I guess it depends on how. I've never cross-posted, but I see people talk about, list perfectly and flip, and there's all these other different things to cross list, that it's not just a single push button operation, but
for sure it would be, but I don't need to. Like, to me, I'd rather go sourcing. I'd rather go out if it came down to it. Again, this is all based on my situation now. We're talking about my situation. I have plenty of stuff listed. I get plenty of sales every day. If it came down between choosing to spend my day cross-listing or hitting thrifts to get more stuff to put on eBay, I'm hitting the thrifts to get more stuff to put on eBay that day. That's what I will do with that time. And just one other thing I wanted to add, because you brought this up and I thought about it. I honestly can say for a fact that if I was banned from eBay, or eBay ended, or eBay just stopped working for me, whatever it may be, I'm going to go get a job. I'm not going to, I don't want to sell on Mercari. I don't want to sell on Facebook Marketplace. I don't want to sell on Poshmark. I don't want to sell on Amazon.
Yeah.
I really don't want to do it. I've done Mercari, I've done Facebook, and I've done Amazon, and I honestly don't like it. I don't enjoy it. It feels worse than a job to me.
Yeah.
And I feel like with what I've learned on eBay, I could hopefully get into this kind of job if I had to go get a job. Something along these lines, some kind of e-commerce online sales.
Yeah.
And so I would go do that.
We had talked about a little bit, just you and I too, with eBay, and let's say, a seller like Troy, he's full-time, or either of us, or a lot of our listeners that are full-time. It's almost that eBay doesn't take that into consideration at all. I don't know that they could, or how they would, but if you're talking to somebody and you're explaining to them, this is my livelihood, this is my full-time income, I sell on your platform that makes you money. Some of us make a lot more money for eBay than others do, but still, it's like a full-time. It's like they should be able to see the history in your sales, and how often you are listing, and how interactive you are. The whole, whatever the algorithm knows, how busy you are. That give a guy a break. You're going to suspend it for 3 days over something that, and then it was the whole thing. Of course, they say they can't catch everything and blah blah blah, but Troy in this instance was showing, look, there's 20 other listings of the same exact thing. Why mine? And
someone reported them. I would guess somebody reported it.
He wasn't going to be a tattletale and go look at all of these listings. I think they'd even ask him about this. Like, no, that's not my point here. I worry about me. I don't worry about whatever anybody else is doing. And the argument was just so silly, but in the end, it got to be, what would you do if you were suspended? If you're full-time, do you have another source of income? Can you, sure, I could sell some stuff on Facebook Marketplace, or I could list some stuff other place, but that's going to take time. Those 3 days with no income. So it's like, do you set something up? Do you start listing on other platforms now so that at least you have them?
Yep.
And yeah, and I think, I've been talking about that. It was one of my goals in 2022 to start listing on another platform. Of
Yeah.
course, here we are, 2023. I'm still just listing on eBay because I do well enough on there. I could do better.
Yep.
Can't do much better than I did this week. We'll
Right.
talk about
I just
that
want to say
later.
real
But
quick, I agree with you on the whole no, like almost zero tolerance. No, I think so. eBay has to have that. There's too many people trying to do stuff they shouldn't be doing on eBay. So
yes,
they have to have all this stuff set up. Problem is, it's all like cut and paste automated almost now because they
yeah,
just have flags that go up. The system sees it and it does what it's the system like the algorithm or whatever suspends who it's supposed to suspend. It's not like they sit down at a desk of 4 people and have a meeting about should we suspend this guy or not. It just does it, right? Like it's just an
yeah,
automated thing. And then when you call, the reps can't help you at all. Even and everybody will eBay for business. I've gotten in touch with them quite a few times, and there's been quite a few times where it was just cut and paste answers also. Like
yeah,
they said exactly what the representative on the phone said, like word for word almost. Like they all have a cut and like a script.
yeah. A script that they go
And
by.
I've gotten
Yeah,
it from eBay from business too. But real quick, like they should have I've always agreed eBay should have some kind of warning. Like let's say, and some people get upset over stuff. I wouldn't get upset. If eBay called me or gave me a warning and said, "Hey, we don't want you listing this kind of item.
yeah,
Please take it down and don't put it back up, and we won't do.
yeah,
There will be no punishment." Basically,
yes.
what's wrong with eBay? Won't do that though, and that's what's frustrating. They just suspended him. Now, some people, well, I should be able to list it. Blah blah. I'm not that guy. I'd be like, okay,
Yeah,
gave me my warning. I won't list Whirlpool. People tell me you can list Whirlpool. I will never list a Whirlpool item again because that's what got me in trouble on
yeah,
eBay was Whirlpool. Filters. I will, and they were Whirlpool branded. Whatever. I will never list Whirlpool on eBay again. And people tell me, "Go, well, you can," and blah blah. I don't care. I'm not doing it because it got me in trouble. I'm not doing it.
yeah,
I learned my lesson,
yeah.
whether I'm right or wrong.
Yeah, it's a topic that goes round and round. I guess how much will eBay help? How much do
Yeah,
they help? They don't help at all. Um, and I'm a firm believer that although I have all my eggs in eBay's basket, and it's worked well for me for 3 years as a full
yeah,
time reseller. I would like to branch out just to have that opportunity to
yeah.
have.
I
Um,
get it.
I don't think I'm going to go the Amazon route because that just seems like there's a lot of effort.
Talk
Now,
to
people that
Cajun
do
though.
sell on
Talk to Cajun.
Amazon,
He'll tell you how good it is.
he'll tell. Well, yeah, he'll tell
Yeah.
me why
It's just
haven't you
not for
done it
me.
already?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just want to make
it's
sure everybody understands my thoughts are my opinion. Like I won't tell you. I guess I said you're wasting your time. I did say all that, but that's
yeah,
my opinion. Doesn't make it wrong. You can, if you want to cross list. I'm not saying you're wrong. In my opinion, I feel like it's a waste of time.
yeah, and I don't.
Yes, you do.
So,
You're agreeing
oh,
with me now.
okay. Yes, Jimmy said you guys are fools if that's the way I
That's
heard
what
it.
it said.
Jimmy said you guys
You guys are fools. Look
Jimmy
at this
notice
fool. Who's the fool now?
Jimmy's
Oh wait,
there's Jimmy's just out there lonely. That's how Jimmy will be after this when the comments start coming and I go,
yeah, that's me
Jimmy,
right there.
he's gonna be
Nobody's
out
gonna
there
agree with me at all.
lonely on the road all
Yeah,
by himself.
yeah. What's the next topic? I feel like I was.
Well, I tell you, I noticed. Wait, which side? I have nothing back here. Usually, I have some sort of something that I've been listing or something silly or whatever. I've had a great week. I've seen some other videos. I think it's one of those things that goes around where every now and then eBay just says, "Okay, it's your turn.
Yeah. Oh,
You get all of our love and all of our attention and all of our, And this week, when I see other people that are like, "Oh man, the sales are just slow, and I don't know what I'm going to do, and maybe I should be cross posting and all of that stuff." And eBay picked me this week. Now I had one really good monster sale, the highest sale item that
your best sale ever, right? That's your best sale
my
ever.
best sale ever. Yeah.
By far.
And I
too,
will
right?
have what's that?
By quite a bit, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. $400 or $500. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out how to turn that into like a good like video, at least a reel or something like that, or talk about that
I have a
sale.
good idea. Why not to
Yes.
cross post? Just list it on eBay.
Yeah. Who needs to cross post? I sold this. But yeah, I had even without that one huge sale, I was having a really good week. I had sold some really good items. And you know why I sold them, Jimmy?
Because you listed them on Poshmark.
Because I listed them. No, not because we'll cut that short. Because I listed them.
That helps.
I've been I talked a little bit let me see, on another show. What show would it was
here we go. Here comes the shameless
plug. Oh yeah, it was on Ken versus 10 that airs Thursdays.
Versus 10. We need to make like a little video for that or something.
Ken versus 10, my little live listing show that I do every Thursday morning, 11 o'clock a.m. on my channel. You know what I noticed the other day? I always say my channel, but I never mention what my channel is. SSKPromo. If you don't know,
there's like
SSK
7 S's.
SSKPromo, which kind of brings me in. I always, hey, this is Ken, SSKPromo, Mr. Bill. One of the comments of the week here was Danica. She said, "Wait, is Ken's last name Bill?" And it's like
he signed it that way, anyways.
For the back here on my headshot, where that's starting to pick up legs, Jimmy. I got to get some of these printed for the outings. I might even
before you're.
I might even bring my own little table, that I can sit at.
Here we go.
Fine.
It's a convention, huh? Now
I'm a one-man convention, Jimmy.
It's a podcast convention, and we're going to set up tables, and all of the Trash Cash guys. We're all going to be signing autographs at this convention.
Sign autographs, and I'm pretty sure I'll have the longest line.
Thumbnail just now.
But yeah, I'll be signing. That's the DOG anyway. He delusions of grandeur, thinks that everybody's there to see him. But yeah, my last name is Bill, hence the Mr. Bill. For those of you that want to be formal with me, you could call me Mr. Bill. And why I used the little Mr. Bill
Mr. Bill
icon, because I don't even think.
Well, I want to do a shameless plug. If you get to do a shameless plug, I just put out a video yesterday, and it's doing terrible. This real quick. Anybody that does a lot of videos, puts out a lot of videos. Quick question: this
Jimmy's not talking to me on this. I know that
it's doing awful, like terrible.
Okay.
10 out of 10, and it's at like 200 something views, and I usually get to 1,000 in the first 24 hours.
Okay.
Should I just delete that video, wait a couple days, and repost it with a new thumbnail and everything? Is that something that I should even consider doing?
Well, I noticed
it's doing terrible.
I was going to ask you that. You changed
because
the thumbnail already.
Because it's doing terrible.
Like I saw the video and I watched it like right after you had put it out. And then a little bit later I was in here and I brought up YouTube and I'm like, wait, Jimmy has a new video out? No. And it's like, oh, he had changed the thumbnail already.
That's kind of a common thing that I know people do. If a video is doing terrible, they'll change the thumbnail really quick. I tried that and that didn't even help. I mean, maybe the thumbnail and stuff is bad. Maybe I could come up with a better one. But I just want to know if you're watching and you think it's a good idea to just delete the video and then maybe put it out again next weekend with all new thumbnail and everything. Let me know what you think. But that video, at the end of it, we had some. First of all, I really enjoyed editing that video. Yes. It's over there on.
Did you? Well, thumbnail. Did you ever think maybe it's just you, Jimmy?
It's very possible. I am off-putting, and I was breaking stuff in the video, throwing stuff around, dropping stuff.
Poor Jeannie.
Poor Jeannie. in the lamp.
No, but this was fun. I love in this video. It's a stay sale video.
Yeah.
What you did, how you did your deal at the end.
Yeah, we had, and there's a little bit of a story to it. So like I'm standing there waiting to pay Brian, and another one of my friends is paying before me.
Okay.
And he goes, Brian goes, he goes to pay, and Brian goes, "Did you have a number on how much?" And then he goes, "No, I didn't really have a number." And he goes, "How about let's do the thing where we use our phones?" And I'm just like, I'm just staring at him like, "What are you guys doing?" And Brian goes, "You put in what you want to pay, and I'll put in what I want to charge you. We'll type it into our phones, and then
Like in the calculator or something.
Yeah. The calculator, exactly, in the calculator, and then we'll show each other, and we'll negotiate from there."
Okay.
And then the friend, he goes, not Brian, the other guy, he goes, "Yeah, but we almost always, like 9 out of 10 times, we get the exact same number." And I'm like, "Yeah, right. Like 9, that's," he knows, we have ESPN, like we do. We get the same number every time. That's how
this is kind of like the old car dealership days where, okay, I'm going to write a number on this piece of paper and slide it across. Okay. So
they do that.
And
I didn't get this part on video, but that's part of the story. Because I wasn't rolling, my GoPro wasn't on during that. Yeah. I almost said rolling the film like I'm you and using a film camera.
Big VHS camcorder.
Like VHS camcorder. So they do that, and they hit it right on the head, $60. Like they both had the exact same number in their calculator. So then the friend, he goes, "You guys should do that too. You guys should do the same thing," because I was getting ready to pay too. And he's all, "Do the same thing and get it on camera." So I turned the GoPro on, and so Brian says, "Put in your number," and then the friend, he says, "I'm gonna do it too." And so he puts in his number, and then Brian puts in his number in his cell phone, and then he goes, "What's your number?" And I go, 25. Dang, if both those guys didn't turn their phones around, they both had 25 also. And like, it was based at looking at a bag sitting on the floor. Like, it wasn't based on anything else. He doesn't know. I knew what I had in the bag, but he took a glance, went through it just a little bit. And so
now, did they have all their stuff priced? And so you were kind of like, let's say, was it like $40 worth of stuff, and you thought, I'm going to do 25, or
some of the stuff had pricing, some of it didn't, and that's kind of how his sales always are. So like, there's a couple things in there that had $5 and $2 on them.
Okay.
And then there were some things that didn't have any pricing. I would have guessed it was at about maybe $36 worth of stuff in there. I think that's the number I came up with when I got home. And so he came up with 25, and so did I, and so that was a deal. But it was fun, so I'm part of the ESPN club now. I'm signed up, part of the and that leads me to another story about that sale. Yes. I bought this. So Gemmy, Gemmy, guys, that's a brand.
Yes, not to be confused with JIMMY.
Not.
Hey, you should come out with your own line.
Yeah,
you should come out with your own line of animated figures.
No, I shouldn't. Okay. So, but if you don't know about Gemmy, if you ever come across a dancing, singing Gemmy, not Jimmy, Gemmy plush, always look it up. Always look it up, because there's some that I've sold a Gemmy in the hundreds before.
Yeah.
But some of them regular, or not even some of them, a majority of them will go for $40 to $70. There's a handful brand of them that don't do great, but even the ones that don't, that's still $15, and they will sell. Gemmy sells. It's very collectible.
Yes.
Anyways, I found this Halloween black cat that dances and sings at this estate sale. It was part of the $25 lot, and I got it home, and there's a lot of solds, and there's a decent amount listed, but there's a lot that don't work, right? There's quite a few listed that said the head doesn't turn, or the back doesn't raise, or or it just doesn't work at all. And mine,
and
fully functional, works great. And so I listed it just regularly to start, and I started getting questions. People were asking, "What song? What does it do?" Blah blah blah. I just ended the listing, and I went downstairs, and I did something I've never done before.
Okay.
Took a shower on the day of a podcast. No, just joking. what I did is I made a video of the cat doing with the batteries in it, doing its dance,
and you put that in your listing,
and I put it in my YouTube listing, and I'm gonna share the video with you guys right now, if that's all right.
In your YouTube listing,
my YouTube, or my eBay listing.
In your eBay, yes.
Hey, we're talking about videos. My brain automatically goes to YouTube or Instagram. Sorry, I put it in my eBay listings, and now I've had messages. Okay, I saw the video. Can I offer you $20 for it? Well, no, it's listed for $70. Get out of here. But because it shows that it's fully functional. I'm gonna play the video right now if you guys want to see it. Of the cat. It's a fun. I see why these things are worth money. I mean, this video's it's a fun little cat. You ready?
Do it.
There it is. Is that
I love when I was surprised when I was watching a video, and then like when his back all arches up. Man, see, you're gonna sell that thing, because I'm a big every animated toy, if it makes noise or lights up or whatever while I'm snapping my photos, because I've usually tested it with batteries or when I'm doing my photo, boom, I take a quick video of it while it's playing this music. I'll show around it, quick 10 seconds, and it just easily uploads with your videos.
You've done the video in your eBay YouTube.
In my eBay YouTube sales, yes. And my YouTube listings.
It wasn't that bad. I don't list on my computer anymore. I don't know if you can do it from your phone. I did it from my computer. I'd have to see if I could do it from my phone. I've never tried.
I'm not sure.
Again, it wasn't terrible. I think it's something on. I won't do it on like a VCR or a video game console.
No.
Or something like that. Part of the problem is I test separate from when I'm listing, right? So I would have to, while I'm testing it, run over to the picture area and do a video then, or do a video on my testing area while I'm testing it. I don't know. I'll have to think about it.
Yeah, I found when I first started the same thing that you did. You list something and you start to get questions about it.
This thing,
any toy that I have, or any sort of musical thing. Yeah, I'm not going to do it again with a video game or anything like that. But any of that, I just take a quick video and I put it right in my listings when I'm doing that, and it's eliminated questions from buyers because they can see it.
One thing I did for me is it gave me the confidence to list it at the highest dollar that, with all the competition. I feel like because none of the other ones had any videos that I saw.
Yeah.
So I felt confident in going for the higher end of the pricing. Sorry, I just wanted to say that real quick.
I did have I did have one sale / non-sale that, because I put a video up, I had it was like one of the Billy Bass sort of a thing that was, but it was all just a skeleton of a fish.
Yeah.
And I did it, put a video with it, and the person that bought it, they bought it, and then about, I don't know, 10 minutes later, they sent a cancel request, and in their cancel request, they said, I bought this, and then I watched the video and the listing and decided I didn't want it. And
dang, worked against you.
It did work against me on that one. But yeah, it worked against me for like a day.
Yeah.
Because I canceled the order, I relisted it, and the very next day it sold because it was, a kind of a hot item. But all of those toys, I feel that putting
it's not the
videos up with them, it doesn't take me any more time.
He's not even putting videos he's just putting a video of him just sitting there staring at the camera.
See, if I'd spend time making content videos for YouTube rather than toy videos for eBay,
if you want to see Ken's content, you have to go to his eBay store. That's a whole new strategy, folks.
Things that say animated plush.
He's going to be the first 10 million view eBay video.
I'm hoping I'll be monetized soon over there on eBay, and
He's got.
you'll be
Oh,
able to
that's
send
cool.
me a super chat on eBay. And by a super chat, I mean that's buy my item and I'll ship it to you
Right.
for whatever the
Oh,
shipping
that's
is.
funny stuff right there.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to get some more content, got all the rallies and stuff
I've
coming
given
up,
up
and
on that.
people
We've
people
talked
need
about
to
this
see
so
the
many
DOG.
times.
Hey, I got a hype man, Jimmy. Now I've got my own hype man, like Flavor
Flavor
Flav
Flav.
flavor. So for the rallies and the stuff when I got my own hype man
Is
that's
this
going to
gonna
be
be a new
pitching the
character that's
DOG.
gonna be sitting on the shelf behind you?
No, it's actually a live a live human
Oh, you
being
gotta wow.
that has agreed to hype for me. So
At the
um
reseller rally?
at the reseller rally, at least, or who knows, any others that we might cross paths, but reseller
So
rally.
it's not somebody that's close, it's that lives near you or that you know family or anything like that.
No, yeah, Aspen. It's actually
I was gonna
Aspen.
say
That's
Aspen's
right.
coming over.
She's gonna trade that big whiteboard. She's gonna write my name on that whiteboard and carry it around. And
That's funny.
DOG, Mr. Bill, SSK promo.
All right, so it's a surprise then.
Well,
You're
I might reveal later on. I might, but yeah.
they prefer hype person these days.
They do hype person. Okay. That
I don't know that Aspen one want to be called the hype man.
the hype man, she's my my hype niece. I got a hype niece. Um that was it on the list, Jimmy. We did kind of have a list today.
Yeah, don't give away our secret. This is all just off the top
off
of
the
our head,
cuff.
folks.
We just thought all this stuff up right now. As but yeah, that's all I got. You got anything you want to cover?
No, I gotta get to work and ship some stuff because I'm a reseller.
Yes. That's
That was weird, right? What are you doing?
that was
End the show, man. Don't make me say stupid stuff.
I'm just gonna sit here and let Jimmy
Let
quote
me just
so okay, we'll catch you next time on the Reseller Clickbait Podcast.